We've all been there, in a room full of people, engaging in conversations, trying to make connections, and then it happens. That awkward moment when you accidentally offend someone. Maybe it was a slip of the tongue, or perhaps you didn't realize the weight of your words. Maybe you told a joke that fell flat. You thought it was harmless, but it hit a nerve. The laughter dies down, and you notice that one person who isn't amused. Or maybe you forgot their name again. It happens. You see them often, but for some reason, their name just doesn't stick. You fumble, they notice, and the moment becomes awkward. But in the game of life, not all offenses are created equal. Some are minor, easily forgotten. Others, however, can leave a lasting impression. Some people brush things off. They laugh, they move on, and they don't give it a second thought. Others, let's just say they file it away. They remember, and sometimes they retaliate. They hold on to that moment, letting it fester, waiting for the right time to strike back. This, my friends, is where things get interesting. The dynamics of human interaction are complex. A simple misstep can lead to unforeseen consequences. Because today, we're talking about the fine art of not pissing off the wrong people. It's about understanding the nuances of social interactions, being mindful of our words and actions, and recognizing that not everyone will react the same way. Some will forgive and forget, while others will hold a grudge, waiting for the perfect moment to remind you of your misstep. So, tread lightly, be aware, and always strive to leave a positive impression. You never know who holds a grudge, and how it might come back to haunt you. Robert Greene, often referred to as the Machiavelli of our time, has a unique way of dissecting human behavior and power dynamics. He wrote The 48 Laws of Power, a book that has become a cornerstone for anyone looking to navigate the complex world of power and influence. It's basically a guidebook for, well, getting ahead in life, whether in business, politics, or personal relationships. Take Law 19, for example. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. At first glance, it sounds simple, right? Just be careful not to upset people. But here's the thing. People are complicated. They have layers, hidden agendas, and sometimes deep-seated grudges. You have to read between the lines. It's not just about what they say, but what they don't say. Their body language, their past actions, their subtle cues. All of these can give you insights into their true motivations. Because the last thing you want to do is light a fire under someone who's holding a grudge. Imagine offending a colleague who has been quietly harboring resentment. That could lead to a toxic work environment, or worse, sabotage. History is filled with examples of people who underestimated their opponents and paid the price. From political downfalls to corporate betrayals, the consequences of not knowing who you're dealing with can be severe. So, how do you navigate this complex web of human interactions? It starts with observation and understanding. Pay attention to the small details, the things that others might overlook. Take notes. Reflect on your interactions, and always be aware of the dynamics at play. It's not just about avoiding conflict, but about positioning yourself in a way that maximizes your influence and minimizes your risks. Mastering the art of power is not about being manipulative or deceitful. It's about being strategic, thoughtful, and aware. It's about understanding the human psyche and using that knowledge to navigate the world more effectively. So, the next time you pick up the 48 Laws of Power, remember that each law is a piece of a larger puzzle. A puzzle that, when fully understood, can give you the tools to thrive in any environment. Decoding the power play is an ongoing journey, one that requires constant learning and adaptation. But with the right mindset and tools, you can navigate it successfully. And who knows? You might just become the master of your own destiny. First up, the arrogant and insecure. These folks are all about appearances. They project confidence, but deep down, they're fragile, like a house of cards in a hurricane. You criticize them, even constructively. Watch out! Their ego is bruised, and they'll find a way to make you pay. Trust me, it's best to just steer clear. Next, we have the quiet and calculated. These are the folks who fly under the radar. They're observant. They listen more than they speak. And when they do speak, people listen. They're not loud or flashy, but underestimate them at your peril. These are the master strategists. They play the long game. And if you cross them, they'll wait for the perfect moment to strike. Section 5. The vengeful and relentless. You poke, they strike back, with a vengeance. Finally, we have the vengeful and relentless. These are the folks who take an eye for an eye to a whole new level. They're driven by a thirst for revenge. They hold grudges like prized possessions. Cross them once, and they'll dedicate their lives to making you regret it. Avoid them like the plague. Seriously. Section 6. Rockefeller's Regret. A cautionary tale of underestimating your opponent. Speaking of holding grudges, let's talk about John D. Rockefeller, oil tycoon, a man whose name is synonymous with wealth and power. He built an empire that dominated the oil industry and became one of the richest men in history. But even the mightiest can fall prey to their own hubris. One of the richest men in history. His wealth was so vast that it's almost impossible to comprehend today. He controlled Standard Oil, a company that had a near monopoly on the oil industry in the United States. His influence was unparalleled, and his business tactics were ruthless. He once crossed paths with a guy named Edward Doheny, another oilman. Doheny was ambitious and determined, a man who had clawed his way up from humble beginnings to become a significant player in the oil industry. He was not someone to be taken lightly. Rockefeller, in a moment of arrogance, publicly humiliated Doheny. Big mistake. It was a classic case of underestimating your opponent. Rockefeller, confident in his own power and influence, thought little of Doheny. He saw him as a minor obstacle, not a serious threat. Doheny was not the kind of guy to forget. He was a man with a long memory and a burning desire for revenge. The humiliation he suffered at Rockefeller's hands was not something he could easily let go. It festered within him, fueling his determination to strike back. He spent years plotting his revenge, eventually playing a key role in a scandal that rocked Rockefeller's world. The Teapot Dome scandal, one of the biggest political scandals of the early 20th century, saw Doheny's involvement in bribing government officials to secure oil leases. This scandal not only tarnished Rockefeller's reputation, but also shook the foundations of his empire. Never underestimate the power of a grudge, especially when it's held by someone with the means to act on it. Doheny's revenge was a testament to the fact that even the most powerful individuals are not invincible. They can be brought down by those they least expect, especially when they let their guard down and allow arrogance to cloud their judgment. The story of Rockefeller and Doheny serves as a powerful reminder that respect and humility are crucial, no matter how high you climb. Underestimating your opponent can lead to your downfall, and the consequences can be far-reaching and devastating. Section 7. Have you ever? A moment of reflection. Now, I want you to think for a second. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed surprisingly vindictive? Someone who held a grudge way longer than you thought was humanly possible? Share your stories in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Section 8. Conclusion. Choose your battles wisely. Look, the world is full of different personalities. Some are delightful. Some are, well, less so. The key is to be observant. Pay attention to the signals people send. Learn to read between the lines. And most importantly, choose your battles wisely. Because when it comes to certain people, the best way to win is to not play at all. What about you? Have you ever seen someone offend the wrong person and pay the price? Maybe in business, at work, or even in friendships? Tell me in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns of power laws, let me know which one you'd like next. That's it for today's power lesson. If you found this valuable, hit that like button And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into power, strategy, and influence. And hey, if you want to level up your knowledge even faster, check out my other videos here. Click on the screen now. This is Siddhi Shri, signing off. Stay powerful.